I believe in statistics. The statistics say that most abducted children are taken by people they know. Julie was taken by a stranger. The statistics say that most child abductors attempt to lure their victims into a vehicle. Julie was taken from her own bedroom at knife point in the middle of the night while my other daughter Jane watched from a closet. And finally, the statistics say that 3/4 of abducted children who are murdered are dead within the first 3 hours of being taken. 3 hours is just about how long we think Jane sat in her closet, rigid with fear, before rousing Tom and me with panicked crying. By the time we knew Julie was gone, her fate was sealed. The inevitability of it has spread like an infection or the smell of gasoline. To make myself know that Julie is dead, I tell myself she always was. Before she was born, before I was born, before Wordsworth was born. Passing the pines of Memorial Park, I picture her staring upward with sightless eyes under a blanket of reddish gold needles. Driving by Crestview Apartments, I see her buried in the azalea bed. The strip mall with the Sunray Nail Salon and Spa yields visions of the dumpster behind the Sunray Nail Salon and Spa. That's my visionary gleam. I used to want the world for Julie. Now I just want something to bury. My class, the last before summer break, passes in a blur. I could teach Wordsworth in my sleep, and although I'm not sleeping now, I am dreaming. I see the crystal blue of the pool, shining like a plastic gem, surrounded by a freshly sanded deck under the tall, spindly pines. The girls were so excited about the pool, and I remember asking Tom, the accountant, whether we could afford it. The Energy Corridor District, with its surplus of Starbucks and neighborhood country clubs, wasn't really our style, especially not mine. But the girls loved the pool even more than they loved having their own rooms. They didn't seem to notice that we were moving out of shabby university housing to a part of town with 2-story houses and 2-car garages and green lawns studded with signs supporting high school football teams. There are several reasons why we did that, but the one you want to hear, of course, is that we thought it would be safer. Class dismissed. Don't forget your final papers are due in my box on the 28th, no later than 5 o'clock. By the time I get to, "Have a nice summer," most of them are out the door already. As I walk down the hall to my office, I feel a light burr against my hip. It's a text from Tom. "Can you pick up Jane? IAH 4:05 p.m., United 1093. I put my phone down, turn to my computer, and look up the University of Washington academic calendar. Then I check the university directory and call up a University of Washington administrator I know from grad school. A brief conversation follows. I text Tom back. "Should I get dinner too?" A few minutes later, "Nope." And that's apparently all Tom and I are going to say to each other about Jane coming home early from her freshman year of college. It's tricky picking Jane out of a crowd these days. You never know what color her hair is going to be. I stand close to baggage carousel 9 and wait until a tall girl with burgundy black hair emerges from the crowd of passengers, a lock of faded-out green dangling in front of her eyes, having survived yet another dye job intact. "Hi, Mom," she says. "Hi, Jane." We hug, her heavy satchel thwacking my hip as she leans over, and then the empty baggage carousel utters a shuddering shriek and we both turn to look at it while I decide how best not to ask about her unexpected arrival. "You changed your hair again," I observe. "Yep." Everything Jane says and does is a variation on the slammed door that first became her calling card in middle school, a couple of years after Julie was taken. In high school, Jane added loud music, hair dye, and random piercings to her repertoire, but the slammed door remained the centerpiece of the performance. Tom used to follow her dutifully up the stairs, where he weathered the sobs and yells I only heard in muffled form. I figured she needed her privacy. "Did you have a good flight?" "It was okay." It was long. I suspect Jane chose the University of Washington because of its distance from Houston. When she was a little girl, she used to say she wanted to go to the university.